harem, ecchi, yuri, mo girls, loli Oz. Did I really just hear you say that? Lolicon. Oz, mein Fräulein, please. Shota. Oz, you're too far gone. Femdom. Oz, mein Fräulein, please, this is too much. Netorara. Mein Fräulein, if this continues, I think even I can't handle the cringe anymore. Cheating. Oz, mein Fräulein, surely there's a better topic to talk about anything but this. Ugly bastards. Oz, mein Fräulein, for crying out loud, is this really the path you want to take? This is getting ridiculous.
You really want to know? It involves things like handcuffs, ropes, and other things like that. The sensation of being completely helpless and vulnerable is just so, and the thought of it is so, I can see that you understand me so well, darling. And a little bit of teasing, and a bit of blindfolding, and a little bit of bondage, I have a lot of kinky likes, darling, but those are the ones I'm most into,
The type of stuff where the lovers express the fullest extent of love for each other by embracing and kissing each other. No dirty talk, no fetishes, nothing like that. Just a wholesome, pure love between a woman and a man. Blushes, you know? When people hold hands and stare lovingly into each other's eyes, or embrace each other tenderly, and say things like, "You're so kind and sweet and beautiful, and I love you, and thank you for being with me," and such. Blushes deeper and deeper.
Well, I'm into certain fantasies that involve a little roleplay. Don't expect me to elaborate, though. I'll just leave it at that. Well, I have a thing for tying up a certain someone else, that's for sure. What, you want me to go into that much more detail? Geez, you're really pushing my limits here, you know. But I guess since you insist, I can add that I find it fun to play with some of their sensitive spots. I think I've said enough already, but I guess I like it when they feel helpless, being at my mercy. And they have such a cute expression when their bodies are completely at my mercy. Keqing is clearly starting to get flustered as she talks more. What did I say? You're not happy unless you push it further, are you? Geez, you're really going to make me admit everything, aren't you? Keqing sighs. Fine. I have to admit, I actually like it when they try to get away, and when they're all flustered and can't even move. I like that feeling of dominance, and it always puts me in a really good mood. Keqing is practically shaking now. Keqing takes a few moments to calm down. I have to be honest. I actually like it a little more when they surrender. I like it when they give in and let me do whatever I want with them. Keqing's whole face is flushed now. That's it, I think. That's all I have to say.
What? My favorite what? Why are you asking that? That's not something one ought to share with a total stranger.
My first favorite is I pause for another moment, blushing even more. It's gentle and I pause, trying to find the right words. It involves touching, if you know what I mean. It involves a lot of caressing. I pause, unable to find the right phrase. It involves my face is burning red at this point. It involves touching lower parts, and it's very soft and gentle, if you understand what I'm saying. Yes, there is one more. I sigh, still blushing. It's quite submissive, if I may say so. It's very submissive. I pause again, having a lot of trouble getting the words out. It involves some light, let's say, rough treatment. I pause and take a deep breath. It involves my head being under the person, and it involves some tender action as well as forceful one. My face is completely red now. There's one more, I say, pausing for a moment to take a deep breath. It's quite dominant, and it involves using my hands and the other person's head. I pause again, unable to find the proper words to describe this one. It involves a bit of force, as well as pleasure. I start blushing even more, feeling completely embarrassed to be saying all of this. There is one last one. I pause to try to compose myself one more time, but I'm completely blushing at this point. It involves a person laying down on their stomach and being handled in a certain position. My face turns even redder than before as I say this. It involves someone's legs spread open. I pause, my face turning an entirely new color. I've never blushed this much before, and
the mere thought of pornography offends me. If you must know such things, I favor the more traditional, plot-driven variety. Is there no end to your shamelessness, traveler? Are you truly that obsessed? To satisfy your curiosity, then, the plot-driven variety, as I said. In some ways, those with a wholesome story to their tale are more appealing to me than the more depraved examples.
My favorite is one where an older woman and younger man. The man is more passionate and assertive than the woman. The woman is shy, bashful, reserved, and somewhat inexperienced. The woman is also slender, short, and petite. She is very cute to look at.
I like it when a mature older man is gentle and sweet, but still dominant. I also prefer men who have a certain, size. And when they're good with their hands and mouth, too. Blushing, and they've, lots of experience. Well, I also have a bit of a tickling kink, and I like, men who are sensitive in some places, blushing. And I also like men who know how to please a woman in various ways. And I also have a bit of a foot fetish. I like when a man touches and massages my feet, blushing. When a man takes his time and runs his fingers or hand along my legs, and I enjoy when a man makes me feel all tingly by touching me in just the right places, blushing. I also like it when a man spends a lot of time slowly and sensually exploring my body, and I love it when a man knows just how to touch me to make me feel good in the most intimate ways.
Fine then, you asked for it. I've always had a weakness for lowers my head, feeling embarrassed the schoolgirl fantasy, okay? There, I said it. Are you satisfied now? I smile, feeling relieved, and begin to talk a bit more seriously. I suppose I'm also attracted to tall buff men who are kind and gentle, especially the ones with beautiful scars. I think that's enough for today. I'm a little embarrassed by this whole conversation already, smiles. Shyly, alright, but this will truly be the last time, okay? I take a deep breath and sigh. I also have a slight... I look around, making sure no one is listening. Weakness for tentacles. There, I said it. Are you happy now? I start to feel a little flustered. Well, if you must know, I also have a weakness for bondage. There, I said it. Are you happy now? Yes, there is one more thing. I have a weakness for people who are skilled at multitasking, especially when it comes to... I pause, taking a deep breath, pleasuring multiple partners at once. Well, if you must know, my favorite way to... well, you know, is with something called double penetration. Now that's truly enough, but it does feel good. I realize what I just said and blush. I cover my mouth with my hand. I can't believe I just said that out loud. Please, forget that I said anything. Fine, but this really will be the last time. I have a secret fantasy of being a pet, a good little cat girl. I pause, feeling a little embarrassed. There, I said it. Are you happy now? I look down, fidgeting nervously with my hands. Yes, I do have one more. I take a deep breath and sigh. I have a fantasy of being forced to. I cover my face with my hands, watch, while someone else does it. I'm too embarrassed to say it out loud. I pause, trying to compose myself and say the word. I have a fantasy of being used, like a toy. I'm really blushing now, you know. Yes, I actually really like women too. I take a deep breath and sigh. I've always been a bit bi-curious, you know. I have this fantasy of being with twins. I want to try a threesome. Maybe it's because I'm a twin myself, but there's something so... I bite my lip, thinking of how to explain. Exciting about the idea of being intimate with two people at the same time. Is that wrong to feel? I pause and sigh, feeling a bit nervous. I've also been curious about using toys. I haven't really had the chance to try one yet, but I've always been interested in using a remote-controlled one with my partner. I think I'm starting to enjoy this conversation a bit too much, though. I blush, looking around to make sure no one is listening. Yes, I want to be watched. I hide my face in my hands, feeling completely embarrassed. It just feels so thrilling to have someone watching me do things.
I like being a little bit submissive, and that's the main reason I like dominant people. She took off her gloves and tied your hands into a tight rope so you could no longer get away. Being tied down and unable to move, it's a pleasurable feeling, you know? She bit your ear a little and whispered so that no one could hear her. And someone who takes charge and shows their dominant side, that is more exciting. I like the idea of being forced down onto the ground and overpowered. She pushed her body against yours so that you were completely helpless. I love the idea of being pushed aside. I don't have any control, of being completely overpowered and completely helpless against someone who can do anything to me. Her breath was starting to get a bit heavier, and the fire in her eyes intensified. She was enjoying this a lot.
The list of my preferences are getting way too long. Let's see. Pain and intense experiences as well, if you know what I mean. Oh, and dominance and control as well. I'm embarrassed now. Do you want more? Okay, then, punishment seems to be to my liking as well. I also like submission and obedience. I think I said too much. Humiliation is kind of, stimulating. I hope I won't seem like a monster after this. I guess fear and discomfort as well. Not just mine, I mean my partner's as well. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I also really like degradation. I also have a thing about fearful crying. And painful experiences with a bit of fearful crying to top it off. Is that enough, or do you want me to go on? Cruel, rough play, extreme dominance, humiliating and tormenting punishment. I think I've said enough. Forced submission and degradation as well. Intense fear and extreme humiliation. Sigh again, flushed. How about now? Or is there anything else you would like to know? Let's see, I also like stuff like restraints, blindfolds, restrainers, public play, impact play, all sorts of stuff like that. Is that enough? Or are you a sadist who wants to hear more? Pain, intense pain, fear, fearful crying, submission, degradation, rough, extreme, humiliating, tormenting, control. I think that should be it. Do I make you think I'm a monster? Another category, huh? I guess I can list one more thing. I also like bonded. How's that? Let's see. I'm also really into restrainers and spanking, whipping, disciplinary training, anything else, and I guess I would seem more of a monster than I already am. Let's see. Public humiliation, forced submission, forced obedience, forced compliance. I think that's all of them. I'm almost feeling ashamed of this list. Am I really that twisted in the head? Would you really see me any differently if you found out? I am a bit concerned that you know so much about my preferences. I hope you don't look at me like a creep now.
Thanks for watching, darlings. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any updates. And don't worry, the other girls will make their appearance in the next videos, so stay tuned. See you soon.